Hey everyone in computer science. So I know that we meet tomorrow morning, but I wanted to throw out this video because I think there is some confusion out there about once you have downloaded Python, like where are those files going? How do I access it? If you're on a Mac, I think you're downloading something called a Python launcher, which is not what you want to use. What you're wanting to use is something called an IDLE, Python IDLE. It inevitably came with any package that you downloaded for Python. So remember, as long as you have version 3, it does not matter what version of version 3 you have. So 3.2, 3.6, 3. I don't know if 3.7 is out yet, but they are all the same thing. 3 will work with 3, 2 will work with 2. So just make sure that you have any version of 3. Because I believe if you do the one from the OHS, it's like 3.2, but like I said, does not matter. There's a couple of features that are different, but nothing that's going to make any difference in this class. And you can have multiple versions downloaded at one time, which is probably something that you want to do later in your programming career because you want to make sure that your programs work in each version. But let me show you where those files go. So my desktop and everything's a little crazy right now. Today is like my organizing day. I'm getting everything uploaded into Launchbox. So it's going to look a little weird because I'm going to be working on this monitor over here, but my camera's over here. So just look at the side of my head for a second. So let's take a look really quick. So when you download Python and then you run that .exe that downloads, this is the part where everyone is getting messed up. It's like, oh, where'd it go? Python doesn't automatically give you desktop shortcuts and stuff. So the best way to find it is to go down here into your search bar for Windows 10, or you have to hit start and then there'll be a search bar if you're in Windows 7. So click on the search bar. All right, and then Cortana or whoever will pick up and just type in PYT. Now you may have to type in more than that, but basically you're typing in Python, okay? And what you're gonna see is Python 3.6, this desktop app, right? Well, this is what most of you are clicking. If you're either clicking the launcher for Mac or you're clicking this 3.6 desktop application. Now, you can get there from here, but let me show you what you really want to go ahead and do. So type it all the way in, Python. Then you're going to see what's called the Python IDLE. See, Python 3.5, 64-bit IDLE. So I'm going to click on this to open up Python. Now, this is called the Python IDLE. This is the shell of Python. So this is where we can test different functions and programs. So for example, I could put in 2 plus 2 and hit enter and it's going to give me 4 because this is an actual workable interface, okay? But this is not where you're going to start programming all of your programs this year. Now you can test some code in here. For example, I could do things like shape and put in turtle and things like that. And I don't believe it will pull a turtle in here because I don't actually have one imported. But if I were to import a turtle and then turn the shape into turtle, which you'll learn about what all that means very soon, probably tomorrow morning, this is, it just tests it. So you can't save anything from here. So let me show you how to do that really quick. So we'll go to File. Up here in the top left, we'll go to File, New File. Now this looks very close to what we just saw. The difference is you don't have all this messy stuff at the top and you don't have these 3 arrows. Now if you're on a Mac, you don't have those 3 arrows anyway, but what you need it to say is Untitled at the top, okay? Now if you're a Mac user, you also know that your little toolbar is not at the top of your window, it's at the top of your Mac screen. So we'll go to, now we have Untitled. So now we should be able to type in our commands and it'll start color coding it so you know that you are typing it correctly. So for example, from turtle import asterisk. And so what this means is from the turtle library, I want to import all of the functions. Now typically this is taboo in programming. You don't import everything. You only import the modules that you need. But for this class, it's okay to import everything. We're not going to write anything so ginormous that it's going to mess you up to just pull everything in, okay? So let's look from turtle, import everything, and then we could do, for example, forward 100. So this is probably the most simple turtle program that you can write. Now, I'll show you how to save it. So whenever you want to save it, go to File, Save As, and then you can just put it wherever you want. Now, most of you are putting it into your project folder, which is great. But if you're not putting it in your project folder, throw it onto your desktop. That's cool. It doesn't matter. Now, here's one more little tricky part. I'm gonna call it turtle. I don't know, turtle shape. Yeah, let's do turtle shape. So turtle shape. Now, the problem is most Windows computers, for some reason, do not automatically attach the .py to the end of a Python file. I have no idea why. I don't know how to fix it, so don't ask me. But I do know this. We can go, and I also spelled turtle wrong, but you know, whatever. So turtle shape, and then go ahead and manually type in .py, which is the extension for a Python programming file. So even though it says save as type, I promise you it doesn't always do it correctly. So hit save. And now I can get rid of all this Python stuff and go back to my desktop. And if I did it properly, I should be able to find turtleshape.py on my desktop. So I'm going to place it right here on this eyeball of the squid. And this is my Python file that I just wrote. Now, if I right click and edit with IDLE, it's going to open it up in that Python software where I can edit it. Or I can simply double click it to actually run the program. And you'll learn the difference between running a program and actually programming it during the course of our course. But let's double click on it and see what happens. So, there we go. Hold on. Let me, so I have to edit something. I have to add a piece of code to make it stick. So let me do that really quick. Edit with IDLE 3.6. So like you see, I have multiple versions downloaded on my computer. And then I'm going to type in this little helpful function right here, built-in turtle function called exit on click, that will make it stay. So Control S to save. Let's back out, and then let's double click it, and there we go. So my turtle moves forward. Now this little arrow is called a turtle. So if you're wondering why it doesn't look like a turtle, you can make it look like a turtle, which we will do tomorrow. But the big thing to notice is this little arrow is the turtle. And per my program, it moved forward 100 pixels. So we'll learn about that more tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure if there's anyone who feels like they're stuck getting this going, these are the steps to get a very simple Python program running. So one more thing, and then I will be quiet and I'll leave you alone. You can run them straight from the IDLE, which is probably what you're going to want to do later. So if you edit with IDLE, you're in your blank program, you can go up here and go to run, and then run module, and it will run directly from the module. That way you don't have to save it as a program, compile it, all that stuff. You can test it very quickly from here. So I hope this helps you a little bit with getting Python and getting a very, very simple program running. Hopefully you watch this video before tomorrow's class, because we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to have different levels of challenges for every kind of student. So like I said in the email, let's break some records today. Or tomorrow morning. Let's say as many students as we can in there. It's going to be a great class, and I cannot wait to keep jumping into this material in computer science and Python for the rest of the year. So if you need me, as always, reach out to me via cell phone, email, do what you got to do. I will make some time for you. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.